I am starting the recording, so you should get a notice that it's being recorded. But again, everybody's privacy is taken care of. Okay, so I see one instructor that has zoomed in. I'm bringing him in as a panelist. That'd be Professor Chong Oh. We also have Jill Stevenson here, who is running the Ghana experience at the Ensign College of Public Health. Jill, welcome. Chong, welcome. I think you're both muted right now.
Thank you.
Yep. Awesome. So we're going to talk primarily about our summer program, but if anyone has a question about anything Eccles Global, feel free to ask the question in the Q&A section, and we'll get that answered for you. Let's give it just a few more minutes, not minutes, a few more seconds, and get a few more folks in here to get started. See if I have any other instructors that have zoomed in. All right, so all of you are either students or parents or both, and we're glad you're here. Today, just for the record on our recording, it is, hi Jill, how are you? It is Friday, September 17th, 2021. This year is flying by again. I'm just back from Whistler, Canada, where I just took 120 students, actually got them through the border with their vaccinations, PCR tests, and everything else. They let them in, and now they're up there at a leadership conference. So it's kind of fun to have students out and about an international setting once again. We have 7 students in London this semester, and that's been a great experience. And Professor O has he ran a very successful summer program in Seoul, South Korea, with 23 students, the Isminer program. So at our Utah Asia campus. So things are starting to happen. We're seeing around the world that COVID, well, may not be going away necessarily. It is being managed, and it is being, there are protocols that are basically boxing it in. And as long as we live according to those protocols, we are able to have a successful program. So when we look at our summer sessions, I'm just going to click on that really quick here. I just want to take one more look and see if there's any other instructors on with us, and I don't see any. So I'm going to, on the Eccles website, Eccles Global website. In fact, I'm going to do, I'll click on that, and then we will, I'll put the URL in the chat here, so we'll have that. So this is our summer sessions link. So let me copy that and put it in here. And it's for everyone. So there you go. So there is our link to go right to this page. So what we've done is we've taken this summer, which is a 12-week semester, and we've broken that into 3 1-month or 4-week sessions, if you will. And in each session, there is one course that a student can take. We're just going to cursor down and take a look at the first session, which starts May 16th. So this is the day that classes start back here on the U campus. And that's the day our summer session number 1 starts. And a student, for example, could take any of these courses, one of these courses during this first month-long session. We've been doing this now. This, I think, would be our 10th year if we had done it last year, but we had to suspend a year. But we've done this quite a bit. So all these instructors are very adept at teaching in this format. Essentially, that's 40 hours of class time. So you're either in class or you're at some point with the instructor doing something related to the class over a 4-week period for 40 hours. And then students are on their own for the homework and supplements to those 40 hours in the classroom. So I have Professor Chong Oh here, who's going to be offering IS 4410, which is a B Corp bridge course that'll be offered in Paris. And it's, again, for this first session, which is 4 weeks long, and we'll give him an opportunity to talk a little bit about that here in just a minute. But we're also offering again this year, and this is our second summer offering, BUS 3800. In this case, it's BUS 3880, which is business and social science, which all business students need, Eccles business students, whether you're in the B Corps or whether you're grandfather. And that is being offered in conjunction with Honors 4474, which is an elective course for the honors program. And is being offered in Pong, Ghana. Pong is about an hour or so north of Accra. And it will be for the full 4 weeks also. And we have Jill Stevenson here to represent that course that's being taught by Professor Stephen Alder. So let me just go through the structure a little bit. And we have one question. What is a bridge course? So as a freshman, students study the B Corps 1000 and 2000 level courses, and then sophomore fall term, they're put in a cohort that studies B Corps fundamentals, and that is a 12-hour experience for fall term. And then in the spring, there are bridge courses, we call them B Corps, business core classes that bridge to your major. So let's say you want to be a marketing major, you'll take 3 bridge courses, and that's 9 semester credit hours. Those bridge courses would be the bridge course for your major, which would be the marketing class. And then you could take IS 4410. You could also take B Corps 3100, which is Mark's Institution. So those would be your 3 bridge courses. So that is typically the spring of sophomore year for a student, or second year. If you'd like to defer those or even take those early, you can do those during summer session. So I think that's kind of fun to have that option during the summer. So we have 2 bridge courses, B Corps 3100 and IS 4410, and then Business 3800, which again is required from every student. We also have another BUS 3800 class, which is From Saints to Sharks. That's basically an art history class being taught by David D. and his wife, Karen Gardner D. in London. And they're adjunct professors. I think it'd be a great course, a lot of fun to take. So hopefully that answers your question. And if you have any more, go ahead and throw those in the chat. So if you're interested in taking one of these 4 classes in the first session, then that may be all you want to do. Take one of these classes, you're done. You just come in on May 16th and ends on June 9th, which is a Thursday, check out on Friday, and it's all over. If you'd like to stay for another course, you certainly can transition to our second session, which then would take you for another 4 weeks, another class. That would be another 3 semester credit hour course. And you'd have a pretty full summer in doing that. We offer these other 4 classes during the second session. If you didn't want to take anything in the first session, you want to just do the second session, you can certainly come in for those too. Take just take one course in the second session, and that'd be no problem. You can also take session 3. You can come in for one session, one course in session 3. You can do like a session 1 course, don't do anything in the middle and travel, and then come back and do session 3. It's completely flexible. These are the courses we're offering during session 3 this year, this summer coming up. You'll see Ghana's offered twice, once in session 1 and once in session 3. So you have 2 opportunities to take a course in Ghana. And if you wanted to take, for example, session 1, you'd fly into Ghana directly. And then if you want to come into session 2 in Europe, we would fly you up to your course in Europe over that 3-day weekend before the course starts and get you settled. And or if you want to start in Europe and end up in Ghana, we'd fly you from Europe to Ghana and then back to the US. So now that's not the flight to Ghana and back is not included in the cost of this, but the intra session piece is, and I'll explain that a little bit in just a second. So that's for Ghana only though. So hopefully I didn't confuse you too much, but if you take one course, the cost is going to be, it has been as high as $5,000 for one session. That includes the tuition for 3 semester credit hours. It also includes housing, and it includes an excursion for an overnight excursion within that particular course, and it includes some cultural activities also. We are supported by 2 firms, CEA and Kappa. Kappa provides our support in London, CEA provides our support in other cities. And basically they provide a campus away from campus. It's full student services, health and safety, classroom space, living space, transportation within the city, et cetera. So, and we've worked with both firms for a very long time, and it's been really successful. Okay, so are there scholarships for these sessions? So the summer sessions, yes, you can use financial aid if it's available for summer sessions. The Eccles Global doesn't provide any, however, specific scholarships. So you'll need to talk to your financial aid officer. You can certainly use student loans. Most scholarships, unfortunately, don't cover summer tuition, but you can certainly check with your provider to see if they will. The other, there's another piece of good news, though. If you're an out-of-state student, if you're studying abroad with Eccles Global, you're considered to be in-state during the time you're on our program. So for example, if you go to session 1 and you're an out-of-state student, you get credit for a week beforehand. So from May 9th until June 15th, you would be considered to be on Eccles Global and be a resident of Utah. So you get credit for your residency during that time frame. Many out-of-state students stay the entire summer. They do all 3 sessions, and they see that's a bargain. It's a less expensive tuition than it would be for staying in state and staying in Utah, and then they get full residency credit. And I write letters for everyone to send to the residency office, and then they provide that residency for you when you get done with the semester. So basically, I was getting into the cost of this. It could be as high as $5,000. It could be as low as $4,500, somewhere in that range. So we're going to try to keep it there again this year. I think 2 years ago, the last time we actually put this together, it was about $4,800, but I want to try to keep it a little bit less. If you take more than 1 session, the cost goes down a little bit. I think 2 sessions was about $7,500, and 3 sessions was somewhere around $10,000. So roughly those numbers not to exceed, and we'll know better in a couple of weeks, and I'll put those prices up as soon as I know. At the bottom of this link, there are some short videos, 1 minute or less, from each of the professors that are going to be teaching. Most of the professors are going to be teaching during the summer session. So jump in there and listen to those. They give you a little background on what they'll be teaching. And I think you'll find those enjoyable. So with that, I'm going to turn the time over to Jill Stevenson. Jill, if you want to talk a little bit specifically about the Ghana experience, why don't you go ahead and give that a go.
Can you allow me to share screen, Buzz?
All right, so you should be able to share your screen now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I know that this is a Friday afternoon, so thanks for being here. I'm just going to talk to you briefly. I know we have other panelists, so want to give them also a time to talk about their program. So for our Ghana course, it's offered session 1 and 3. That is taught by Dr. Stephen Alder. He is a professor, tenured professor in public health, and our new executive director for the Center for Business Health and Prosperity. Additionally, he is the president of the Ensign College of Public Health and is just completing his MBA at Oxford. And he has led, student programs to Ghana for decades now. So a little bit about the course. It's listed as health and economic development. It's really about business and social science and kind of those dynamics in the emerging markets. It's open to all majors, but we do give priority to David Eccles School of Business students. And the nice thing about our program it is a lot more inclusive than some of the other programs. So like Beth says, it includes your tuition and your housing. For the Ghana program, it also includes your transportation, most of your meals. So just save for a couple, meals for traveling. And all of your excursions are also included. So that's a really nice benefit in the pricing of our program. This program is also heavily project-based. So we're not about to stick you in the classroom for hours a day. We will have some coursework to do, but the majority of the coursework is project-based. This is our home base. It's the Eccles Global College, used to be called the Eccles College of Public Health. It's a beautiful state-of-the-art campus located on the water in the back there is the Volta River. You can see the map on the right. At the very bottom, you can see Accra, and then the red dot just above that, at the bottom of all that water, which is Lake Volta, is where our campus is located. But in this program, we'll be taking you as far as Cape Coast and then as far north as Tamale. So a little bit about our itinerary. You'll be engaged in coursework during the week. And then on the weekends and sometimes during the week, we're going to be really engaged in excursions and community engagement. We'll go up to Zena Lodge and go to Mole National Park and do a couple safaris. There's the Lara Bunga Mosque, which is the oldest mosque in Africa. We'll look at shea butter production, local bead making, traditional fabric weaving. We have a new partnership with a local fabric maker that should be really fascinating. We'll get to explore local markets. We'll get to go hikes. We also think it's really important if you're going to go to this part of the world that you really understand the impact that the slave industry had on not only Africa, but the US. So we'll go down to Cape Coast, stay at the Coconut Grove Beach Resort, and then spend a morning at the Elmina Slave Castle and learn about that history. And then we'll finish that day off at the Khartoum National Park doing some canopy walks really high in the treetops. We'll have local agriculture. Mangoes in Ghana during this time of year are just the most amazing thing we've ever had. We'll look at tilapia farming, coffee, cacao, and then go to wheelie farms, which is the tallest waterfalls in all of West Africa, just loaded with bats and snails and all kinds of agriculture, and then really explore the Volta Dam and that river that has impacted Ghana's economy. You can see this picture of the elephant. That building in the background is where we're staying. So the elephants are just up close, and these are not Asian elephants. These are wild African forest elephants. So just to show you some pictures from student experiences in 2019, we're really big into community engagement. We get out and do things and really see and engage with people from Ghana. We'll spend time, like I said, up in northern Ghana, going on safaris. You can kind of see in that middle picture again, how close you're getting up to these wild African forest elephants. We'll see lots of baboons. Our warthog, Owusu, who's our unofficial mascot for the program, have some time to spend in the pool. That picture on the right, that is the Lara Bunga Mosque I mentioned. And there's some beads. You'll see some of that hiking. That grass is taller than a 6-foot student. So just really amazing experiences. So don't take it from me. I have a couple quotes from students that have been on this program in 2019. The first one says, "This experience has been transformative, eye-opening, and one of the most worthwhile and immersive months of my life." So we really want this to be, the pinnacle of your undergraduate experience. And there's another quote from a student who just said they got a big understanding from the coursework, but really had a much deeper cultural understanding of Ghana and Africa. So a lot of people ask about travel safety, going to Africa, especially during a pandemic. We really equip our students through orientations, multiple orientations, so that they're prepared to go to Africa. We'll do some COVID testing to get into the country. The vaccine is required. We have on-site clinical and medical staff, a wonderful logistics and security team. You get the international travel insurance, and we just make sure that you're prepared and you feel really safe to be participating in this program. So I'll stop talking now, but I encourage you all, you can just scan that and add it to your phone, start following us on Instagram. So We have different giveaways for some of our programs. We might have additional scholarships. So this is a great way to find about those. If we're going to have any other info sessions, some travel tips and other things that are going on in the center. So whether it's session 1 or 3, we sure hope you'll join us in Ghana this summer. Thanks, Boz.
So Jill, I have some questions for you.
Okay.
What's included?
So all of their accommodations at the Ensign campus, and then their accommodations at their excursions at Cape Coast and at the Zana Lodge. Almost all of their meals when they're staying at Zana and at Ensign College of Public Health, all of their transportation, and then those excursions. So all of the costs for the safari, entrance to the Cocoon National Park. So we really try to make it a pretty inclusive experience.
Okay, so they need, though, if they went just to Ghana, they would need to fly internationally to Ghana and back, right? On for their expense.
Yes.
But everything else, once they get there, is pretty well taken care of, which is a little unique. That's different than the European experience, because the European experience, the international airfare is also not included, but neither is food or incidentals. Your housing is definitely included in all your academic stuff. If you plan to go to Europe as part of your experience, what I would do is you'll pay your international airfare to Ghana and have a return flight from Europe, and I'll bridge the gap. Eccles Global will pay the difference to get you from Ghana to the European experience of your choice. So either do session 1 and come up to Europe, or you do Europe and go to session 3 in Ghana. So
that would be amazing.
Yeah, that's great. We did this 3 years ago, right? We had all the students you showed in that, and then they just had an exceptional experience. The only complaint I got was they didn't get to spend enough time with the elephants. But it was amazing.
You don't want to leave Zana Lodge. You just kind of want to live there forever. So it was a really, really great, just fantastic trip. But I think all the students really just gained a lot of knowledge and a great understanding of Africa, who in 2019, Ghana was the fastest growing economy in the world. So
that's cool.
Eyes are turning to Africa.
Okay, so there's a question, anonymous attendee. Is it also available for fall 2022 that is counted for credits for B Corps 3000 is for business degree? So you're talking about Ghana, I think. Ghana is business 3800 over the summer, condensed course over 4 weeks. In the fall, and also this coming spring and this fall, we've offered and have 16 students, I think. Jill, is that right?
Correct. Yep.
We have a course called, is it Strats?
Entrepreneurship 5800 and 6800, poverty alleviation and entrepreneurship. So
you want to talk just 2 seconds about that?
Yeah. So if summer's not in your cards, we have this great class offered both fall and spring. This fall, it was about $3,500, but that price included everything. We helped you with your visas, include your tuition. We spend the first half of the semester talking about prosperity science. How do we really build capacity in our communities so that they can start, innovating and have more entrepreneurs, have some hubs for really this economic development. And then we spend either fall break or spring break, depending on when you take the course. So for about 9-10 days in Ghana, we spend some time excursions. We do some consultations with local businesses to help them increase their business development, hire some more employees, look at capital funding, and then we end with in Zana at the safari and the national park.
So that's perfect. And then if you want to go back to the link that I shared, if you look at fall semester 2021 Ghana, this will be repeated again in spring and then next fall in 2022. So basically the same format. So again, first 10 weeks of each semester of the 15-week semester. So the first 10 weeks, and it's a fabulous experience. Okay, thank you, Jill. certainly we'll answer more questions let's see, mean for any of the study abroad only Ghana. So the question is, yes, let me go back here and show you the summer, for fall. So fall, we have B Corps, the basic B Corps 12 semester credit hour experience. We have 7 students in London now, right now, taking all 12 semester credit hours plus the US 5800 as a consulting class. So they're doing their cohort in London, and then the rest of the hordes are back on campus doing it here. So yes, it is. We do offer the B Corps Fundamentals program in Europe in the fall of 22. We'll for sure do that. Okay. So we were joined by Professor Christy Gibby-Wachter, who will be teaching Business 3900 in Paris. And it's called The Human Side of Business. This will be what I think the 3rd or 4th time you've taught this, Christy. Is that right? I think you're muted.
Fourth time.
Okay, I'm going to give you the floor. I told you no PowerPoint. I'm sorry. Let's just talk for a minute because I don't want to.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so I am so excited to be going back to Paris. Knock on wood, fingers crossed, COVID permitting. We are going back to Paris, blazing the trails here again, post pandemic, hopefully. But my class is a study in human behavior as well as the humanities. So I call it the human side of business, and that's part of what my textbook is called. But the important thing to know is we're looking at how people function in various business situations. We're looking at them through the various schools of humanities. And every single day that we have class in Paris, we are somewhere in Paris. It's all on site, and it's all theoretical application of the various concepts that we will talk about. We go to the Pierre Lachaise Cemetery for one day. One day we go to the Luxembourg Gardens. We go see Gertrude Stein, Picasso, Hemingway's places where they lived, and we look at the development of their businesses, their business mentality and their success in business as entrepreneurs, as well as cultural analysis and cultural competency through the schools of the humanities. It is so fun, and food's part of it always. And we go to some of the offbeat places of Paris. I'm always walking around the city looking for new stuff, and I have a ton of places to go in Bois de Boulogne, the Louis Vuitton Museum. There are so many different things, and I totally massacre my French accent. So I'll be working on that between now and then. But anyway, it's wonderful. We were last in Sydney during the pandemic. That's the last time we had it. And my students and myself are all very disappointed that our time was cut short. So we're looking forward to this new thing where we can cover every single aspect of the humanities and the application of those schools of thought to business and getting people in the 21st century and business success.
Thank you, Christy. So once again, Business 3900, which is Business and Humanities, is a requirement for all business students as part of your core experience. And Christy's has been very well received teaching this class. I mentioned that there's 40 hours of touch time with the professor in the classroom. Well, her classroom is a movable feast. She's all over Paris, right? I mean, you're never really in a classroom. You're going every day. Yep. So, and that counts, and it's awesome. And you get a very, very rich experience from that. So a wonderful way to take Business 3900. It's definitely real. It's not sitting in a classroom just talking about it, which is really cool. So we also have,
and of course, the weekend excursion, Buzz, too.
Yeah. So every 1 month experience, except for Ghana. Ghana is very hands-on, and you're going to be doing lots of things there with Professor Alder and his team. But in Europe, you've got a lot of your own time. So class, what I tell the professors is Monday through Thursday is their time. So you're going to be potentially in class those days. Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays are your time to do whatever you'd like to do. And we support that to go travel and explore. There'll be one Friday night, typically during a 1-month experience where you're invited to go on an overnight excursion somewhere that's within 3 or 4 hours from the city in which you're studying. And so Christy has taken students on excursions from Paris. Where have you gone?
To Loire Valley or Normandy.
So that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's incredible.
both very rich experiences. And there are 4 or 5 others that she can choose from too, that she may change up next year. So, okay, so I've got a question on the chat. What's the difference between BUS 3900 and BUS 1050? So BUS 1050 is for freshmen, either first semester, second semester, or summer semester, if you'd like to defer that and take it in Florence. The 1051 denotes an honors level course. So it's typically reserved for business scholars. But if you're not a business scholar and your GPA is high enough during your first 2 semesters, you can apply for that course. It's limited to 25 students, and it's taught by Jeff Nielsen. And this will be the 3rd time he's taught that in Florence, and it's an amazingly fun class, and it's awesome. 3900 is more for older students, for sophomores through senior, as part of your upper division support for your major. So,
May I speak to that for a moment, Buzz?
yeah.
Okay, so I teach 1050. So I take some of the principles that came out in the 1050 course, and we apply that in a more strategic way. But we're going well beyond philosophy. We look at a lot of other schools of thought, and we look at contemporary issues and how some of the concepts that were learned in 1051 and 1050 apply to actual practice of business in the 21st century. So it is I build 3900 on some of the concepts of 1050. Perfect.
And it needs to be taken at some point during your first year, whether that's fall, spring, or summer. And so this is a summer course we have reserved for up to 25 students who decide to take it then. So I also have Professor Tong O with us, who teaches IS 4410, the Information Systems Bridge course. He also oversees the IS minor program and the digital literacy program. But this is a specific class that Professor O has taught in the past, and this is a prerequisite for pretty much anything you do in the IS minor or major. So Professor O, do you want to take that away?
Sure, thank you. Thank you for the time, and hello everybody. So IS 4410 is the Introduction to Information Systems. It is one of the bridge classes. As what Buzz said earlier, you are required to take 3 bridge classes. One of them is for your major. The other 2 you can choose from a slew of or group of bridge classes, and IS 4410 is one of them. Now, IS 4410 introduces you to the world of technology and how technology complements or is used to support businesses, business decisions, and business strategy. So we talk about a lot of that, a lot of those components. So tech is everywhere today. As a business students, you need to know how to apply technology to different areas of businesses and organizations. So it is very, very complementary, and also it's just an introductory class. But it's also very hands-on because we do labs every week. In other words, well, in Paris, we do it almost every day because it's a shorter version of the semester class. So you introduce to things like cloud computing, security, the web development, the internet, and a slew of business intelligence, new artificial intelligence, and a lot of other things as well. So we also have guest speakers that are coming to our class while we are in Paris. And I'm going to put a link to a video that we created from the 2019 class. You can watch it on your own. It's in the chat. It's awesome. It shows you the things that the students enjoyed while they are taking class in Paris. Now, the other thing is, why Paris? I will ask the question, why not Paris, right? Christy agreed with me. Paris is one of the lovely places in the world to go to. It's very romantic. It's very, it has a special connection. Go up the Eiffel Tower, take a trip for a boat ride down the Seine River, go to the Louvre. There's so many things to see and so much to enjoy and learn while you're in Paris. Classes are Monday to Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday are usually your own time, unless we have an excursion. And most of the students in the previous class, they went around Europe during those times. They went to Switzerland or London or many, many other places. Come on, I invite all of you to join the class. And it's not only that you're learning a lot, you're also fulfilling a requirement for your degree, but you are also will be able to enjoy the experience while living in Paris as a Parisian. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor O. That's a great overview. Students love that class. It was 3 years ago we did that, wasn't it? I mean, it's last 2 summers we've had to cancel. I don't see that the COVID thing is going away, but countries, as I mentioned earlier, are managing around it. So we can study in these cities, provided that students are vaccinated. Some countries require a PCR test before you go. And as long as you're, stay healthy in the cities you're in good shape. You'll need a PCR test to come home. That's the way it is right now. And I think it works out fine. I was in Europe last week, Canada this week, Dubai a couple of weeks ago. It's definitely doable as long as you just, live the protocols. And so we're going to go. The only exception right now is Amsterdam is really shut down to Americans. Even if you're vaccinated and test negative, they still require a quarantine. So we hope that gets lifted before we go full tilt for next summer. But let me just say this really quick. The courses that we're offering next summer should be attractive to a student that's coming from freshman to sophomore, sophomore to junior, junior to senior. There are lots of different options here. There are bridge courses, as we've gone through, BCore 3100, IS 4410. There are courses that you need to take, like Business 3800, 3900. There's Foundations of Business Thought, which is for between freshman and sophomore year. The International Marketing in Amsterdam is going to be a great option for everyone. Can take that course as one of your IR requirements. People say, well, if I'm going to be in Europe studying the other classes, don't I meet my international requirement, my IR? It's not about the location, it's about the material. So Marketing 4840 is the study of international marketing, and to study international marketing, international location is pretty incredible. Business Strategy 3700 is another bridge course. This course is a little unique in that you need to have the other bridge courses done. So you need to have 3 bridge courses done before you take this course. Maybe 2, I think 2. So let's say you're a sophomore, you've done your BCore in the fall, you've done your bridge course in the spring, you can study in the summer, do the Strat 3700 course, go to Ghana, do IS 4410, you've just got lots of options. BCore 2030 is a course that's typically taken during freshman year. That is the statistics course. But you can defer that and take it in the summer in London. Professor Sundar is incredibly passionate about this course, and she's very excited to teach this. She's had 30 students in it for many years in a row now, or for several years. This BCore name is new to that, but it's still the statistics piece. Business law is another class you need to take, and it's going to be, again, well received. We've had up to 40 students in that class in Rome for many, many years. And then just one last course I want to talk about is BUS 3900 or the Honors 3818, which is an electives course for the honors program taught by Professor Martha Bradley. Professor Bradley was the dean of the Honors College, and then she was vice president over all of undergraduate curriculum. And she is a fantastic instructor. She has taught this course 3 times in London and is excited to put this together for Paris. So I think we have a really good lineup for everybody for the summer. Just kind of meets, the needs of most people. So, all right. So let's look.
Can I answer 2 questions that was pop up?
Yeah, so there's a question there for Isminer.
Yeah, the Isminer, this is answering Davis Cope's question. if you want to do the IS minor in the summertime, you have to get the prerequisite of IS 4410 in the springtime. So because that class is the prerequisite for the IS minor. The IS minor is 13 credits for those of you who don't know, and you can do it in one semester. We also do the IS minor in the springtime, which is in Spain and Italy. But if you haven't got 4410, then it's too late for you to go to the spring. But we do it every year. So spring, going to Italy and Barcelona, Italy and Spain. And then summertime, going to Japan and Korea.
Yeah, so the question, there's a question about full semester. And I'll try to answer that a little better than I did before. We do have fall semester B Corps in London, and then the fall semester 10-week class in Utah with fall break experience in Ghana. But as Professor O mentioned, you have Global Information Systems minor in Italy and Spain this coming spring. That application is open until October 1 with kind of a soft close, October 15th for sure. So please take a look at that for spring. It's we have 11 students signed up for that now. We'd love to have 4 or 5 more, but it's definitely a go, and we're excited about that. And then global entrepreneurship is happening in Costa Rica. We have 6 students signed up for that. We really need a minimum of 10 to make that. No, we have more than that. We're up to 13. So actually, that's a go too. So take a look at that if you'd like to study a full semester abroad. You basically pull yourself out of your normal curriculum, working towards your major, and get a minor done in 1 semester. Both of these are offered also in the summer. So take a look. Global Entrepreneurship is offered in Nice, France for the entire 12 weeks. Information Systems is hopefully going to be split this next summer between Japan for 6 weeks and Korea for 6 weeks, depending on whether Japan opens up. We know we can do South Korea for 12 weeks at the Utah Asia campus. They just have to quarantine, and it gets a little bit crazy. So, and Chong, as Professor Osar has put both of those, his IS minor links up in the chat. So, okay. So Jill, Christy, or Professor, do you want to add any more? I think we're just ready to go.
I will
fun,
add,
right?
if I can, from a mom's perspective, both of my daughters have done this, and it was a game changer for them in terms of their outlook and everything else. They did a variety of classes. They in Paris, in London, and they just love it. I strongly suggest it. It's worth taking 2 jobs, working now to earn the money, whatever you can. As a mom, I'm so glad my daughters did it. So
That's awesome. Just to also remind everybody, we do have info sessions every Friday, typically at 1 o'clock. Sorry, today was a little later, so I was just coming back from Canada. But we're going to Zoom in every Friday at 1, and I will have passport points for business scholars. And if you're in this class, in this info session, I think you just need to just email your ambassador and let them know you were here. They'll confirm with me, and you could get your passport points. I'm sorry I don't have that QR code today. So I think that's all
Plus,
I
there's a
have.
There's a question about quarantine in Europe.
So quarantine's not required in Europe right now to go there. If you get COVID while you're there, the United States says you can't come back until you test negative. You don't have to quarantine necessarily. You just have to be isolated, somewhat, and then test negative to come home. That could be within a day or 2 days from your positive test. There is an insurance policy that we provide for all students through CISI. It's very comprehensive. It has a COVID clause now that does pay for the time you are in isolation or quarantine trying to get back to the US. We're not planning to go anywhere in Europe this next year that requires quarantine going in. However, we would go back to South Korea and quarantine there. That worked out really well this last summer as the cohort was very connected through information systems. Actually, it was awesome, the Discord app and other things. So we will go back to Korea. if we need to quarantine. That's we've been through that now. Hopefully that answers your question. So there will be no cost if you end up getting COVID or testing positive in Europe to come back. I think Ghana, Jill, with that, I think CISI insurance would cover that too somehow. So yeah.
Is
Good question.
vaccination required? I think they are, right?
Yeah. Well, Amsterdam is requiring they're requiring a quarantine. Even if you test, negative and have been vaccinated as an American. So, but all the other countries continue to be open to vaccinated travelers as long as some don't even require a PCR test, just vaccination. And most now have some kind of like in Canada, I had to carry my vaccine card with my passport. And in France, they actually will do that digitally now. They'll work it into an app. To get into restaurants, museums, and activities, you need to have that in your phone to be able to be admitted, called a health pass. So we'll take care of all that. Our vendor CEA will help us do that too. So, all right, good question. Great. Well, thank you all for being here. Again, this has been recorded, and I will stop the recording now. And well, I won't, because we have one more question. How much will it cost for studying in Korea? Well, they have the same class like we're studying the US if I'm majoring in business. Do you want to answer that, Professor O?
How much will it cost to study in Korea? The program is the same for the whole semester, which is 14,000. But the Korean trip, the summer Asia minor, IS minor is a better deal because we cover all flights. We cover food stipend of 2,000 in addition to your tuition of 13 credits, and all excursions are covered, and of course accommodation and other stuff. Will we have
basically
the same
it's all inclusive. All inclusive.
IS minor is 13 credits, the same classes. If you go to the link, you can see the classes that we have for IS minor. I'm not sure if I'm answering your question. You can do it in the spring and summer, but not in the fall. We only make it available in the spring in Italy and Spain, and in the summer in Korea and Japan. But just note that because the spring one doesn't cover flights or the food stipend.
I see a typo there. It says throughout spring semester. So we even changed that to summer.
Okay.
Again, the prereq is IS 4410. So if you need to take that in the fall. I mean in the spring. So all right. Great. Thank you all for joining us. Again, I'll go ahead and stop the recording.